It looks like things are going from bad to worse for Rihanna and her partner A$AP Rocky. Reports are now saying that A$AP Rocky is facing up to 24 years in prison for a shooting incident involving his former friend A$AP Relli that took place in 2021. This drama has been playing out for over 3 years now, and for a while it seemed like the case might just be swept under the rug. But not only did it not disappear, it just went to trial. And it doesn't look good for Rocky. The streets are talking, and rumors are swirling that Rihanna, Rocky's billionaire baby mama, might step in to save him by settling out of court with Relli. But is that really enough to keep Rocky out of jail? And why on earth did he turn down that potentially sweet plea deal with the prosecutors? But let's dive into this. It's not surprising that fans believe Rihanna might step in to help, especially since if Rocky goes to prison, she would be left raising their 2 young children, both under the age of 3, as a single mother. Nobody wants to go through that alone, especially when you're also managing a billion-dollar empire. What makes the situation even more complicated is that Rihanna and Rocky have repeatedly stated they get very little help when it comes to raising their kids. They've made it clear that they prefer to parent on their own. Rihanna even spoke about how tough it was in the beginning, saying, "We came home cold turkey, had no one. It was just us as parents and our baby." She went on to explain that the transition was overwhelming, saying, "From one person, I became 2. You walk into the hospital as a couple and leave as a family of 3. It's nuts. Those first days are insane. You don't sleep at all, not even if you wanted to." So if Rocky goes to jail, Rihanna would have to take care of 2 toddlers while juggling her massive business empire. That's not easy for anyone, and it's easy to see why Rihanna might want to do everything she can to avoid that scenario. But does she feel desperate enough to pay millions of dollars to settle and keep Rocky out of jail? The price tag is so high because the case is serious. The drama started in 2021 when Rocky and A$AP Relli, also part of the A$AP mob, had a falling out. While the exact reason behind the argument isn't clear, things escalated quickly. What started as a verbal altercation turned into a physical fight. Then, according to reports, Rocky allegedly pulled out a gun and fired multiple shots. Relli wasn't critically injured, but he was grazed by one of the bullets and ended up with minor injuries. Though Relli walked away without serious harm, the situation quickly became a huge problem for Rocky. To make matters worse, Relli's legal team is now claiming that the altercation wasn't just some random fight. They say there had been bad blood brewing between the 2 for a while. According to Relli's lawyers, Rocky set Relli up that night by convincing him to meet in a secluded location under the pretense of resolving their issues. But instead of talking things out, the situation turned violent. Relli's legal team argues that Rocky didn't just bring Relli there to talk. He came prepared with a semi-automatic weapon. In their statement, Relli's lawyers wrote that, unbeknownst to Mr. Efron, A$AP Rocky was not just planning for a conversation, he came armed. They went on to claim that once at the location, Rocky pulled out the gun and fired multiple shots at Relli without provocation, warning, or justification. If prosecutors can prove that this was a premeditated act and not just a heated moment, it could change everything. It would no longer be a case of a simple altercation gone wrong. It could become a calculated move. And with video evidence backing up the claims, things aren't looking good for Rocky in court. The situation hit a peak in April 2022 when Rocky was arrested at LAX, just as he and Rihanna were returning from a vacation in Barbados. The timing couldn't have been worse. After months of investigating the 2021 shooting, the LAPD decided to make their move as the couple returned to the U.S. The Los Angeles Police Department issued a statement explaining that Rocky, whose real name is Rakeem Myers, was arrested in connection with the shooting. Rocky was arrested on suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon and released on a $550,000 bail within hours. Though he avoided spending a night in jail, this was just the beginning of what would become a long and complex legal battle. By August 2022, the case officially made its way to court. Rocky pleaded not guilty to the charges, but since then, things have only gotten more complicated. The prosecution released a video of the incident, which shows Rocky pulling out a gun on Relli, even though Relli was running away from him and posed no immediate threat. This video evidence is a major blow to Rocky's defense. Interestingly, early on, there were reports that Relli was open to settling out of court. However, according to reports, the amount he was asking for was so high that Rocky laughed it off. Sources say that Relli was allegedly hoping Rihanna would step in and pay up, eyeing her fortune in the process. However, Rihanna wasn't willing to let herself be taken advantage of. She reportedly turned Relli down, refusing to let him exploit the situation. According to Media Takeout, Rihanna wasn't about to let her billionaire status be threatened, even if it meant her partner, A$AP Rocky, could face significant jail time. As the case now moves forward to trial, Rocky and his legal team are trying to remain unshaken by the mounting pressure. His lawyer released a statement saying, "We're ready to go. It's been a long time. It's been something that's been hanging over Rocky's head and Rihanna's head for a while now. We're anxious to get this thing underway and get it behind him." Though Rihanna is not directly involved in the legal proceedings, the fact that Rocky is the father of her children puts her right in the middle of it. In fact, during a recent court hearing, the judge even asked whether Rihanna and Rocky were married and how she should be referred to during the trial. This shows just how much their personal relationship is a focal point in the case, even though Rihanna herself isn't facing legal charges. So what's next? As the trial begins, it's clear that things are far from simple. While some are still hoping Rihanna might step in and settle with Relli, there's a real possibility that this case could go all the way through the legal system. Given the evidence, including video footage and the serious charges against him, ASAP Rocky could be facing a long stretch in prison unless there's a dramatic shift in the case. Ultimately, this case is about more than just money or settlements. It's about what really happened that night in 2021 and whether Rocky acted out of rage or planned the whole thing. If the prosecution can prove that it was a premeditated act, things could get even worse for Rocky. Whether Rihanna steps in or not, the outcome of the trial will depend on what happens in the courtroom. For now, the legal drama surrounding ASAP Rocky is far from over, and it's impossible to predict how it will end. Rihanna's possible involvement in a settlement could change the course of the case, but unless something unexpected happens, Rocky could be facing a long time behind bars. With mounting evidence against him and the legal fight intensifying, it remains to be seen whether he'll be able to avoid a lengthy prison sentence.
The defendant or who his is it his girlfriend?
His wife. It's his common law wife, Your Honor. They have two children together, so
right. So I should characterize it as common law wife,
or just wife. It's fine. However you like, but yes, they're not. I mean, they're common law husband and wife together.
Whatever you want me to call it. You want wife? Okay.
Sure.
Your Honor, I think if they're not legally married, we prefer that she not be referred to as his wife and that she is just referred to as his significant other or mother of his children.
The fact that Rihanna was even brought up in court and the judge asked how to refer to her shows how significant her role is in this trial. Speaking of the trial, ASAP Rocky made a surprising move that left many people shocked. He rejected a plea deal offered by prosecutors. According to reports, LA County prosecutors proposed a deal where if Rocky pled guilty to one of 2 felony charges, he would serve just 180 days in jail, along with a 7-year suspended sentence and 3 years of probation. Given that he's facing up to 24 years in prison if convicted, 180 days, roughly 6 months. It seems like a pretty sweet deal, especially since he'd likely only serve 3 months. Most expected him to accept, considering how much he has at stake. However, Rocky has chosen to roll the dice and take his chances in court. This is a huge gamble, especially with ASAP Relli's testimony, where he claimed that Rocky didn't just aim to injure him, but wanted to kill him. With that kind of testimony, rejecting the plea deal seems risky, and it could potentially make the situation much worse for Rocky.
You said he pointed it at you. Where on your body was it pointing?
Like towards my stomach, like towards like my headish a little. Like everything was happening so fast. You know what I mean?
And from what you're describing, was it moving?
Yeah, it was moving. He had it up.
Okay, so he didn't just hold it at your stomach. It was kind of
no. He was looking for a spot to.
Okay.
Like if Elijah wasn't there, I don't know what would happen.
And you said as he was pointing it at you, what did he say?
I'll kill you right now.
And was that in an angry tone?
Yeah, he was livid.
ASAP Rocky's decision to reject the plea deal has fans questioning his confidence in the situation, especially after ASAP Relli's testimony, which is damning. It makes you wonder why he wouldn't take the safer route and just accept the deal. Now, rumors are swirling that Rihanna might be pulling out her checkbook to keep her man out of jail. While there's no proof of this, the idea makes sense given Rihanna's likely reluctance to raise 2 young children alone, especially with the threat of Rocky facing 24 years behind bars. Fans aren't dismissing the possibility, and some are even speculating that her financial backing could be playing a role in his confidence. Many have commented that ASAP Rocky should have taken the plea deal, with one fan saying, "If ASAP Rocky don't take a plea deal, that ninja going to prison just like Tory Lanez. He's living in a false reality thinking being with Riri makes him untouchable. Be smart, forget those endorsement deals. He's about to risk years of his life." Another fan shared their thoughts. ASAP Rocky going to wish he took that plea deal. It's looking like Buddy's going to jail for a long time. This whole situation has turned into a hot mess, but what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to check out the next video.